May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free from harm. May all beings love life. May all beings awaken. Welcome to another Cuke Audio mini podcast. This is a brief memory of Shunryu Suzuki. I pray that you and yours are safe and comfortable and free from economic struggle and able to get out and do whatever it is you want within the limitations of the universal precept of do as little harm as possible. So today's brief memory comes from Adrian Linda Gutz, who's one of the abbots of the San Francisco Zen Center now. I was a rather new student at Page Street and had been given the job of shoten, to ring the bell for the time drum and bell sequence in the morning. I was standing by the densho, that's the bell, waiting for the signal when Suzuki Roshi came down the stairs with his Jisha, Catherine Thanis, on his way to offer the morning incense. I was standing in shashu's with the hands together at the solar plexus, just above, sort of between the stomach and the chest where they meet. It's a formal way to stand in Zen. So I was standing in shashu, very intent on practicing my new temple job. He stepped in front of me and bowed. I just stood there in shashu. Then he bowed again. No response from me. Then he said, bow. So I did, and away he went. Later, Catherine told me she'd never seen him do that before. I realized I felt I'd been seen. My new baby intention had been seen and acknowledged. That's very sweet. Linda always was focused and sincere, and, she took things seriously. And I think it's funny, he stands in front of her and bows, and she doesn't do anything. But she was new. She didn't know what to do. I mean, maybe she felt she was like one of the palace guard, that don't move. People can even try to bother them, and they stand there rigidly. I saw that happen in Taiwan once. I was at the statue for, I think it was the statue for Chiang Kai-shek in Taipei. And it was big, and it was like a monument. And it had one or two soldiers standing at attention guarding it. I only remember one now. Some young guy came up, and at first I thought he was like messing with the guard. But maybe it was a polite thing to do. I mean, he wasn't being unruly. He started like brushing his shoulders and straightening his collar and stuff. And the guard just stood there without moving. Oh, here's our cat. Hi, Cuchita. So anyway, all right. So anyway, Linda just stood there, not knowing what to do. It was unusual. And then Catherine said, well, he doesn't do that. And so the important part of this story is not that she didn't bow. It's that he stopped and made her feel seen, like she said. And he would usually in some way sort of acknowledge somebody who was new, like straighten their back in meditation, or like if he was walking by in the morning with the morning bow, you see people would be sitting facing the wall, and he'd walk by bowing at a new person. Of course, nobody would have told him anything. As he walks by, people's hands raise. They know he's coming in Gasho, right? Except some new person's just sitting there. And so he'd lean down and say, "Greeting," or something. They wouldn't know what to do. Saying greeting doesn't mean anything. It just means hello. They'd have that little exchange. Or sometimes somebody come in and be really uptight. He'd give them a little tiny massage. Not, just a second, just make them feel at ease. Or sometimes put his stick on their shoulder and just leave it there for a second. I frequently do something where he'd touch somebody. So, it's important when you come to a place like that. You've got a teacher who's like really a big shot. He's way above everybody else in terms of you're a new student, It's like way up there. And so you feel a separation, and maybe you could be nervous or something. So he makes a little gesture to sort of bring the two of you closer, make it a little bit more intimate. He didn't keep doing stuff like that. He didn't buddy. But he was very natural and relaxed, but he just do a little something to make somebody seen. So I think with Linda there, he could see right away that she had this strong intention, that she had the bodhicitta, the desire for enlightenment, that desire to do well. And he made a special point to say hi to her. Now, you think, oh, well, big deal. A lot of Suzuki's teaching and a lot in Zen in general, and a lot of any teacher-student relationship happens in very small, insignificant, looking from the outside, seemingly insignificant exchanges or events. There's a number of things people have told me that, are really hard to express or understand, or hard to convey what the big deal was. It's like, I've heard people say, well, he said hello to me and it changed my life. Something like that. Well, that can be a projection, somebody told you. You could set this up. You could tell people that so-and-so's the most enlightened person in the history of the world. And they'll start having experiences when they're around him. And all he'd have to do is keep his trap shut and look serene or whatever. And then when he says hello, they go, oh, nice. I can remember Ricky Nelson, right? Ricky Nelson, the entertainer. His bass player was somebody I knew, so I could get into his shows for free. And I also, it was in the hotel room, St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco. He was playing in the St. Francis every night for a week or something. And I went up and saw Pat, my friend who died with him when Ricky Nelson died in the plane fire. And we were visiting, and Ricky Nelson was not social. Everybody liked him. He was very sweet, but he was a very heavy coke addict and would just stay by himself. And but I saw him there, and they didn't introduce people to him, but, he'd seen me a couple of times. Well, all right, so I go to a show of his, and he's singing, and at some point he looks at me and nods just real slightly. Well, that was very nice. I really appreciated that. So, he wasn't my teacher, but same sort of thing. So, so Linda felt seen. And that's what I have to say about that. This has been a Cuke Audio mini podcast, a brief memory of Shunryu Suzuki. I'm DC Poobah of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives, coming to you from sleepy Sanur with Dogga Bandita, the birds outside, feline Cuchita, and dear lovely Katrinka. And we're wishing you and yours and all of us a grand awakening.